The first thing Elias Mercer noticed about the AlienQueen was that she wasn't afraid. That, more than the burning alarms, more than the distant thunder of collapsing bulkheads, unsettled him. He crouched behind a shattered console in the auxiliary command chamber of the warship Phyrexian Sovereign, clutching his plasma welder like it was a weapon instead of a tool. The air was thick with smoke and a metallic stench of overheated circuitry. Emergency lights flickered crimson, painting everything in pulses of dying blood. Outside the chamber's fractured doorway, screams echoed down the corridor, alien voices, sharp and musical, now twisted into raw terror. Elias wasn't supposed to be here. He was an engineer. A human contractor. Disposable. He'd been brought aboard 6 months ago as part of a reluctant peace treaty between Earth and the Phyrexians, a species older and more advanced than humanity by thousands of years. Officially, he was here to help integrate human adaptability into Phyrexian technology. Unofficially, he was here because humans were expendable. And now, expendable was exactly what he was about to become. The door hissed open behind him. Elias spun, raising his welder instinctively. She stepped through the smoke like a living shadow. Queen Lyrie. She was taller than any human, her form both elegant and terrifying. Her skin shimmered like liquid obsidian, reflecting the dying lights. Long, crown-like spines rose from her head, curving back in a halo of natural armor. Her eyes, glowing silver, ancient and cold, locked onto him. Elias froze. He had seen her before, from a distance. On ceremonial platforms. In diplomatic transmissions. She was the ruler of the Phyrexian Empire, conqueror of 9 star systems, commander of fleets that could reduce planets to ash. And she was alone. No guards. No advisors. No army. Her chest rose and fell slowly, calmly, despite the chaos. She studied him, her gaze piercing. "You are human," she said. Her voice was unlike anything he'd ever heard. It resonated not just in his ears, but in his bones. "Yes," Elias managed. The ship shuddered violently. The floor tilted. Somewhere nearby, metal screamed as it tore apart. "They are coming," she said. He didn't need to ask who. The insurgents. The traitors. Her own people. This wasn't an external attack. It was a coup. Elias swallowed. "Your guards are dead," she finished simply. No emotion. Just fact. Another explosion rocked the corridor. Closer this time. Elias's instincts screamed at him to run. He was human. Weak. Fragile. He didn't belong in alien wars. But his legs didn't move. Because the Queen didn't run either. She stood there, tall and unbroken, even as her empire burned around her. "They seek my death," she said. Elias nodded faintly. "I know." She tilted her head slightly, studying him with unsettling intensity. "And you?" she asked. "Do you seek my death, human?" He blinked. No. Her silver eyes narrowed, as if measuring the truth in his soul. Before he could say anything else, heavy footsteps thundered in the corridor. Armed figures emerged from the smoke. Phyrexian soldiers. But their armor was blackened, marked with the jagged sigil of rebellion. Their weapons rose instantly, locking onto the Queen. And Elias. For a moment, no one moved. Then the lead soldier spoke. "Queen Lyrie," he said coldly. "Your reign ends here." Elias's heart pounded. He wasn't part of this. He wasn't their enemy. He was nothing. He opened his mouth, ready to surrender, to beg, to step aside. Then he saw something. The queen didn't move. Didn't flinch. But he saw it in her eyes. Not fear. Acceptance. She had already decided to die. Something inside Elias broke. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the injustice. Maybe it was the quiet dignity of a ruler abandoned by her own people. Maybe it was simply that she had treated him like a person, not a tool. Before he could think, he moved. He stepped in front of her. The soldiers hesitated. Elias's hands trembled, but he didn't step back. "She's unarmed," he said. The lead soldier laughed. "She is a tyrant. She's your queen." She was. The weapon's barrel glowed brighter. Elias knew what it could do. He'd helped repair them. One shot would vaporize him. He swallowed. "Then shoot me first." Silence fell. Even the fire seemed to pause. Behind him, the queen spoke softly. "Human, step aside." He didn't. "I can't." "Why?" He didn't have a good answer. So he told the truth. "Because someone should stand with you." The soldiers exchanged glances. The lead soldier sneered. "You would die for her? She is not your kind." Elias's voice was quiet. "I know." He heard movement behind him. The queen stepped closer. He could feel the heat of her body, the power radiating from her. "You owe me nothing," she said. "I know," he repeated. The soldier raised his weapon. Enough. The trigger began to move. Time slowed. Elias didn't run. Didn't close his eyes. He simply stood there. A shield made of fragile flesh. The weapon fired. Pain exploded through his chest. He didn't hear himself scream. Didn't feel himself fall. But he felt something else. Warmth. Arms catching him. The queen. Her silver eyes, wide now. Not calm. Not accepting. Angry. For the first time, Elias saw her emotion. "You dare," she whispered. The temperature in the room dropped instantly. The soldiers froze. The queen lowered Elias gently to the floor. Her hand pressed against his wound. It should have been useless. But light began to glow beneath her palm. Soft. Silver. Alive. Elias gasped as the pain lessened. The soldiers stepped back. "What is she doing?" one whispered. The lead soldier raised his weapon again. "Kill them both." He never finished the sentence. The queen stood. Her body shimmered with radiant energy. Not technology. Something older. Something terrifying. "You were willing to die," she said softly to Elias. He could barely breathe. "Yes." Her gaze hardened. "Then I will not allow it." She turned to the traitors. "You abandoned your queen." Her voice echoed like thunder. "You abandoned your oath." The air trembled. "You abandoned your honor." The first soldier fired. The blast struck her directly. And vanished.
She didn't even flinch. Fear spread across their faces. "What are you?" one whispered. She stepped forward. "I am your sovereign." The lights exploded. The air became a storm of silver fire. One by one, the soldiers fell. Not burned. Not torn apart. Simply stopped. Their weapons clattered to the floor. Silence returned. The queen stood alone in the aftermath. She turned back to Elias. He was still alive. Barely. She knelt beside him again. Why? She asked quietly. He forced himself to speak. You were alone. She studied him. For the first time in my existence, she said, someone chose to protect me. Her hand rested over his heart. I will remember this. Darkness took him. Elias woke to silence. Not the silence of death. The silence of safety. He lay on a smooth, warm surface. Above him stretched an unfamiliar ceiling of curved, organic architecture glowing faintly with silver veins of light. He inhaled sharply. No pain. His chest should have been burned open. He remembered the weapon, the impact, the unbearable heat. Yet he was alive. You awaken. Her voice. He turned his head. Queen Lyrie stood nearby. Not in armor. Not surrounded by guards. Just her. He sat up slowly. What happened? You died, she said calmly. He blinked. That's not reassuring. Her lips curved slightly. The first hint of something resembling a smile. I restored you. He stared at her. That's not possible. It is for my kind. He looked down at his chest. No wound. No scar. Nothing. Why? He asked. She stepped closer. Because you chose to become my shield. He didn't know what to say. No one had ever looked at him the way she did now. Not as a tool. Not as expendable. As something valued. The rebellion is over, she continued. Their leaders are dead. Their fleets have surrendered. He let out a slow breath. You won. She was silent for a moment. No, she said. You did. He shook his head. I'm just an engineer. She stepped closer still. You are the one who reminded me what loyalty truly is. He met her silver gaze. And what happens now? She studied him. The empire rebuilds. She paused. And you will remain. He frowned. As what? Her answer came, without hesitation, as the one who stood when all others fled. He didn't fully understand what that meant, but he understood one thing. His life had changed forever. Not because he was strong, not because he was powerful, but because in the moment it mattered most, he chose not to run. And in doing so, he had saved a queen. Months passed. The empire healed. The rebellion became history. But one story spread faster than any other. The story of the human who stood before death without fear. The human who became the queen's shield. And in the quiet moments, when the galaxy was still, Queen Lyrie would sometimes stand beside him, not as ruler and subject, but as something far rarer. Two souls who had saved each other. And neither would ever be alone again.
End.